The following items cover a number of topics which have not been covered elsewhere in either the VFR or IFR lessons. 7 of them are in the JAR syllabus, and the remaining 2 apply only to the UK. Click on each item as required. Where there is a danger of wake, vortex or turbulence, air traffic will provide the appropriate spacing between IFR flights. However, if a pilot elects to carry out a visual approach, or is operating as a VFR flight, it is his responsibility to provide adequate spacing, although air traffic will pass the appropriate distance.
Golf Foxtrot Hotel Juliet Mike, caution vortex wake. The recommended spacing is 4 miles. Roger, Golf Foxtrot Hotel Juliet Mike.
When wind shear is forecast or reported by aircraft, air traffic will warn other aircraft until such time as aircraft report the phenomenon no longer exists.
Golf Charlie Delta at 0745 for departing 757 reported wind shear at 800 feet. Airspeed lost 20 knots, strong right drift. Roger, Golf Charlie Delta.
SELCAL is a system by which voice calling is replaced by the transmission of coded tones on the frequency in use. Receipt of the assigned SELCAL code activates a calling system in the cockpit, thus relieving the pilot of the need to maintain a continuous listening watch. For a flight during which it is anticipated that SELCAL will be used, the SELCAL code should be included in the flight plan. However, if there is doubt that the ground station has the information, the pilot should include the code of the aircraft's SELCAL in the initial call using the phrase SELCAL followed by the code number. If the SELCAL equipment is or becomes inoperative, the phrase inoperative SELCAL should be used.
Alexander Radio, Oxbow 345, SELCAL Alpha Hotel Charlie Kilo. Oxbow 345, Alexander Radio, SELCAL Alpha Hotel Charlie Kilo.
Any necessary SELCAL check should be initiated by using the phrase request SELCAL check. Subsequent receipt of the SELCAL code tone should be acknowledged by the phrase SELCAL OK.
Alexander Radio, Oxbow 345, request SELCAL check. Oxbow 345, Alexander Radio, Wilco. Oxbow 345, SELCAL OK.
In case the coded signal is weak or is unable to activate the cockpit call system, the pilot should advise by using the phrase negative SELCAL, try again. The ground station should then retransmit the applicable SELCAL code.
Oxbow 345, negative SELCAL, try again.
When transmitting the runway visual range, the words runway visual range or the abbreviation RVR should be used, followed by the runway number, the position of multiple readings, if applicable, and the RVR values. Where multiple RVR observations are available, they are always transmitted commencing with the reading for the touchdown zone.
Oxbow 342, RVR runway 27, touchdown 650 meters, midpoint 700 meters, stop end 600 meters.
The use of the signal pan-pan medical indicates that the message which follows concerns a protected medical transport in accordance with the 1949 Geneva Convention and additional protocols. The message, which must be preceded by the words pan-pan-pan medical, should contain the following information: call sign of the medical transport, position, number and type of transports, intended route, estimated time en route and of departure and arrival as appropriate, any other information such as altitude, radio frequencies, languages used, and SSR modes and codes. When conditions of standing water with or without reports of braking action are brought to the attention of a controller, the available information will be passed to aircraft likely to be affected. Information on standing water will be passed in general descriptive terms, for example, damp, wet, water patches, or flooding, according to the amount of water present. When suitable equipment is available, reports of braking action on wet runways will be passed to pilots. Other runway surface conditions which may be of concern to a pilot will also be passed by air traffic control.
Oxbow tree follower 5. Braking action medium. Heavy rain. Time of measurement 0830. Oxbow tree 45.
When an aircraft has informed an air traffic unit that it intends to dump fuel, the controller will broadcast a warning to other aircraft along the following lines.
All stations, Alexander Control. A320 dumping fuel, flight level 90, beginning 10 miles south of Kennington on track 180 for 20 miles. Avoid flight below flight level 120 within 10 miles of fuel dumping track.
And then, when the dumping is complete,
all stations, Alexander Control. Dumping completed.
An Airprox report should be made by any pilot flying in the United Kingdom Flight Information Region, the Upper Flight Information Region, or the Shanwick Oceanic Area, when in his opinion the distance between aircraft, as well as their relative positions and speed, have been such that the safety of the aircraft involved was or may have been compromised. The initial report is made by RT to the air traffic unit in contact with the aircraft, except that if the controller's workload is such that he is not able to accept the report, the pilot will be requested to file details after landing. The pilot's report should commence with the words Airprox report and should include the following items: call sign, SSR code, position of Airprox, aircraft heading, flight level, altitude or height, altimeter setting, aircraft attitude, i.e. level, climbing, descending or turning, weather conditions, date and time in UTC, description of other aircraft, first sighting distance, and details of flight paths of both the reporting and reported aircraft. RT Airprox reports are to be confirmed in writing within 7 days of the incident to allow follow-up action to be taken. The en route section of the UK Air Pilot contains all relevant details. Pilots citing substantial patches of oil are requested to make reports by RT to the air traffic unit with whom they are in communication, or the appropriate flight information service, in order that action can be taken. RT report should contain the following: oil pollution report, time and date the pollution was observed, and identity of reporting aircraft, position and extent of pollution, tide, wind speed and direction, weather conditions and sea state, characteristics of pollution, name and nationality or description, including any distinctive markings, of any vessel seen discharging oil or other harmful substances, estimated course and speed of vessel, and the estimated length of pollution in her wake, identity of any vessels in the immediate vicinity, and whether photographs have been taken.